Hi, thanks for watching. Now, although there are many different ways to generate new customer leads for your business, consumer habits have shifted over the last couple of years, and I wanted to show you how you can leverage local internet search volume to bring new leads in through your website for free. Well, at whatever it costs to keep your site live. Now, all these leads will be coming exclusively to you, unlike third-party sites like Angie's and Home Advisor. And just so you can see that there's value in it, I'm going to show you the amount of traffic and leads coming to your top competitors in the area, so that way you know what to expect from this. So just for comparison, I've taken your website along with a couple of searches for Rhode Island Painter. I took that's just an ad, so I took the top company for that, as well as power washing. I took the top company for there, and I took all three of those websites and I put them into this tool that I have. And it shows me all the information that Google uses to determine your position in search results. So you can see just briefly based on some of these numbers why these companies are outranking yours. But let me just briefly go into a little bit of detail on what these numbers mean. So as we go through your site, you can see what changes need to be made and how they'll affect its rank. Now, when Google is determining how to rank a website, it uses two factors. The first is what's called the authority or trust that it has in your site. Now, this basically boils down to a popularity contest because this authority is gained when other domains or websites refer back to yours and they create a link called a backlink. Now, let me give you a quick example. Say if local news, Channel 12 News did an article on their website and it said the top 10 best painting companies in Rhode Island. And in that article, the reader could click on a link and it would bring them to your website. That would be considered one backlink from one referring domain. Now, these backlinks can come from a lot of different sources: blogs, editorials, guest posts, press releases. One very strong and important type is what's called the citation. Now, citation is any time that your name, address, and phone number is listed in an online directory. Those include Yelp, Yellow Pages, Super Pages, Better Business Bureau, etc. Now, these directories are usually always free, so it just takes some time for you to find them, register your business, and then input your information exactly as it's shown in Google. So looking at how many websites I've linked back to these companies, you can see why Google is placing more trust or authority in them. But there is a quick note here. It's not just a matter of the sheer quantity of these links. Quality has a lot to do with it as well. So we want to make sure that we're finding websites and linking partners that are relative to your service industry. They're fairly local, definitely not outside the United States. Like a lot of these companies, they have spam links coming from outside places. And we need to make sure that they're coming from reputable sources because you can't get any trust from some place that doesn't have any. Now, the second factor for ranking the website is the content on the page. So if we just take a quick look in here, these are all the keywords and phrases that are being typed in the Google search that are being found on your page, as well as the volume, the number of times per month they're being searched. So this is where a little bit of market research gets done just to find all the highest volume keywords relative to the services that you offer in the areas you want to be found in, to making sure that those are being included on the page. So for instance, painting RI being searched 100 times per month. Right now, it's not too bad. You're in the seventh position. Unfortunately, statistically speaking, the top three get about 90% of the traffic. Beyond the top five, you're down into single digit percentages that actually reach that, only because if you look at a search, there's at the very top of the screen, you're going to find ads. Then you're going to have what we call the map pack, which is going to have three local companies based on the proximity of the searcher. And then you finally get to the search results. So by the time they've gotten down here, they've already seen half a dozen people. So they're not going down the list very far. Like I said, top three, maybe top five at most. However, the seventh is not bad to start, but if you were in the top three position, those 100 people a month will be seeing the website. And then Google Analytics says that 10% of total search volume converts into a lead on an average basis. So you can be looking at around 10 leads coming in per month. Now, obviously, you might not land every single one of those jobs, and the scope of the job and the profit margin varies, but you can just see how the sheer volume of those leads coming in can definitely add up to some revenue at the end of the month and at the end of the year. And that's just for one keyword phrase. Then we repeat that same process for all the highest volume keywords, making sure that those are included on your site. However, there is a formula that Google uses to find these keywords. So if we take a look at the site here, as far as the layout, Google is a computer. It doesn't care what the site looks like. It's great that we have all the information. We get drop downs. We have a call to action button here. This is mobile optimized, which is great because the majority of people are searching on a smart device. But what I would say is, the first thing Google is going to come in and do is just count all the words and text on the page. We generally recommend about 1,000 to 1,500 words on a homepage, only because the more content you have on the page, the more Google assumes that you're an expert in your field, and then the more likely it is to recommend you. Now, while it's counting the words, it's also searching for those keywords. So all the services you want to offer and then the areas you want to be found in. However, this is where the number of words on the page really comes into play, because in order to qualify a keyword, we usually have to have about 100 to 150 words or text to describe that keyword, because Google is actually reading your content nowadays. So if we want to talk about carpentry services, unfortunately, we can't just list them. We have to actually have like a full paragraph describing your different carpentry services in order for Google to qualify those as a keyword. So I think as far as the layout for the user experience, it's great. It just needs to be optimized a little bit more for the search engines. That way you can come up in more search results. So, for example, even if we just look at the painting page, this entire page we would want to dedicate to obviously painting keywords. So we would have a main heading that has an exact match keyword phrase. So it might be interior painting Rhode Island. Rhode Island's best interior painting services. I could check if that is a keyword. I don't know. But we would want to have all the headings be exact match keyword phrases, and then we would have the content describing that. Then we move on to the next one. Instead of making how to make your interior painting, we would just basically word these all so that way you would include keywords in them, and then rework the content so that way it could be in a little bit more of a paragraph form. So that way you can get all these keywords on here and just be found for more searches, so you can get more traffic to the site and ultimately more leads coming into the business. Because if we go, like I said, when you go to a search, people are already going to see ads up top or Google guaranteed, which are the same thing. They're just ads. And then once we get into the map section, this is totally free to be in, by the way. It's part of your Google business profile. So there are ways that you can optimize this, but it is based on geographic location. So the further you get away from wherever your registered business address, the harder it is to rank in here. So you definitely want to make sure you have as much information filled out as possible. So all your services that you offer and the categories, your business address, hours, phone number, try to get as many reviews as possible. And then you definitely want to get as many of those citations as you can. You want to be listed in more directories than anybody else on this list. And then Google really rewards activity. So you want to be posting pictures and updates on the profile on a regular basis. And then when we post pictures, we also embed those pictures with call it geotagging. We put a geographic location or longitude and latitude embedded into the information. So that way, when Google is looking at a picture, it has no idea what it's looking at, but it can read the information and understand where it's being taken from. And that'll help define your service area, so that way you can get found further away from wherever your business is located. However, underneath that, this is what we call the organic search results. This is where, regardless of how many people click on it, regardless of where you're located, as long as you have the right content on the page for the keywords and you've got that trust and authority from Google, you're going to rank up here. So this is where getting more of those referring domains or backlinks from other websites helps build that authority, so that way you can get the website ranked, and then you'll be getting all that search volume for the different keywords as you put the content on the page. Now, I hope this information was helpful, and it just shows you how you can scale some of your online presence. I know it was a lot, so if you have any questions or if you want me to go into any further details, I'd be happy to. We could talk about maybe some of the goals for the business, maybe different services you want to try to push, or different areas that you want to be found in to try to gain some traction. And I can do a little bit of research to see what it would take for you to get there. But really, I just appreciate getting some feedback, just to see what you thought about this, if it was information that was useful. So please let me know what you thought. Thanks, and I appreciate your time.